Title is 2.4, day 2, and remember we're solving. All right, so we are certainly solving, but not everything's going to be factorable. Some of it's going to be factorable. Some of it you're going to have to make a strategy, a plan. So always, when you are given a problem and I'm asking you to solve it, always do the Descartes rule of signs. Descartes rule of signs. And you guys just did that. You just analyzed the sign switches. The Descartes rule of signs is the sign switching thing. Like you had 3 or 1 positives, only 1 negative, that stuff. Always do that. And then, is it going to be really super easy or not? Then you need to check, yes, it factors, or no, it does not factor. If it factors, then do your work and you're done. That's it. If it doesn't factor, then here's your steps. So first, you're going to have to guess and check. In order to guess and check, you're going to analyze your odds. And that comes from the Descartes rule of signs. What am I most likely to get, positives or negatives? Today's activity, you were likely to get positives because you had 3 or you had 1. And since we're guessing and checking, you're going to need an answer bank. That's the P over Q. But guys, the real mathematical term for the answer bank is possible rational zeros. That's the P over Q. That's the answer bank. All right, now you're ready to guess and check. And the way we're guessing and checking in here is we're doing synthetic division. Imaginary answers today. Please write this down so you won't be taken by surprise. The square root of -1 is I. Imaginary numbers are coming back. And just to remember, I squared equals -1. Okay, let's get started with example 1. Please write this down. The degree is 3. Let's check our possible positives. So that's a sign switch. Here's another sign switch. So we're going to have 2 positive answers or none at all. All right, let's look at the negatives. All right, here we go. So this is going to be -x to a third. That's going to stay the same. That's going to change. That's going to stay the same. So our negatives, we only have 1 sign switch here. So I know for sure I'm going to have 1 negative answer. And then y'all try to factor it. But there is no way I can factor something out of these 2 separate groups where it's going to match. This is not factorable. So we're guessing and checking. But we're not just pulling numbers out of anywhere. We're going to create our answer bank. This is the P over Q stuff. I'm abbreviating. Rational zeros. Remember, that's P divided by Q. Remember, this is the P value. This is the Q value. It's understood to be 1 when it's not written. All right, so let's list all of the possible factors that multiply to 6. 1 times 6 makes 6. Also, don't forget 2 times 3 makes 6. Now we're going to list all the factors for the leading coefficient. Y'all, it's just 1. So all of those numbers are divided by 1. So essentially, y'all, your answer bank is positive and negative 1, 2, 3, and 6. But the easiest way is synthetic division. All right, synthetic division is fake, so I'm going to draw an upside down division box. So looking at my original problem, degree of 3, degree of 2, degree of 1, degree of none. So all of my degrees are represented. I don't need 0 for a placeholder. Leading coefficient for the first term is 1. Then we're going to write negative 2. Then we're writing a negative 5, wrapping it up with a positive 6. All right, let's consider our odds here. We could have 2 positives, or we could have none at all. We know for sure we're going to have 1 negative. And we're guessing and checking from this answer bank. I am going to try positive 1 first. I always try 1, usually negative or positive 1. I'm going to guess and check positive 1 first. Let's put a positive 1 out here. All right, now we're just going to do the little synthetic thing. So let's run through the synthetic thing. Bring down your first term. 1 times 1 is 1. A negative 2 with a positive 1 is a negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. A negative 5 with a negative 1 is a negative 6. I am so happy right now because 1 times negative 6 is a negative 6. No remainder. We did great. Now remember, this 1, when you put it in your factor form, it's opposite. So I know x minus 1 is a factor. And guys, I'm going to put a bubble around that because I'm really not done with it, but I need to focus on something else first. So that's just going to hang out for a minute. What I need to focus on are these numbers down here. So remember, this was to the degree of 3. So these are the answers to the degree of 2. So this is going to be x squared minus x minus 6. Now this is also a factor, but you need to see if you can keep factoring. Is this factorable? Mm-hmm. Are there numbers that multiply to a negative 6 that combine to a negative 1? Yes, there is. It's a negative 3 and a positive 2. So we're breaking this all the way down. Remember, this was x minus 3 and x plus 2. So when we write this polynomial in factored form, y'all don't forget about this x minus 1. So it's x minus 1, x minus 3, and x plus 2. Cool, we're about to solve it. Y'all, what's the answer for this first factor? What does x equal for this one?
1.
Good, 1. What's this one? 3, yes. What's this one?
Negative 2.
-2, good. So listen, you just did this in your head. Remember, we're supposed to set them equal to 0 and solve. And y'all did that in your head like you need to do. Very good. We're going to have to show this in a little bit, but not now because we can do this in our head. So go ahead and write x equals and list those numbers you just told me. So x equals 1, x equals 3, x equals -2. Now listen, when you take your quiz on Friday, y'all, there's so many self-checks on this stuff to let you know you're on the right track. The degree of this was 3. Do you have 3 answers? Awesome. I was supposed to get 2 positives or none. How many positives did I get? Awesome. I have to have at least only one negative. Do I have only 1 negative? I am so confident. Let's box that in. I'm going to highlight it. I'm highlighting my answers today. We are good. I am so confident those are the zeros for this example. All right.